Hey, what's going on, everyone? It's Sal, Stretford Post. How you all doing? And welcome to another episode of Breaking Dawn. I hope everyone's doing fine. Everyone's doing well. Well, it is what it is, isn't it? Man United lose 1-0 to Chelsea last night in a game. I know it meant nothing, but obviously we're seeing characteristics in this team that when we go 1-0 down, as I've said many times, we don't seem to come back. And this is my overriding concern about this football team. It seemed like when we went 1-0 down, we were the ones hanging on. I know it sounds strange, doesn't it? We were the ones hanging on. And none of those players stepped up. Now, look, I know what people are going to do. And you know what? People are going to blame Rasmus. People are going to play Rasmus, guys. It's not just Rasmus. We know Rasmus is not playing well. But nobody is stopping Ahmad. Nobody's stopping Bruno. Nobody's stopping Garnacho. Nobody's stopping any one of those team players in that team from scoring goals, from creating goals. What I'm seeing in this team is a habit, selfishness, cut in, shoot. I'm seeing no players go on the outside, get a crossing, go on the outside, get a crossing. And there's no substitute for crosses in the box. And getting things, and try and make chances for your attackers. It's not just Rasmus. That is a very simplistic view, very simplistic, and at the end of the day, we know what Rasmus is, but we've had poor strikers in the past and we managed to score goals. Why? Because the other players chipped in with goals. You can't just pull it on one player and say, he's the problem at Man United. It's Rasmus. And that's it. And I'm not going to bring out any one name in this scenario, which is why I didn't write who's your man of the match, because every single man on that pitch was awful yesterday. It seemed like they were just preserving themselves for the Europa League. Every one of those players was awful. I don't like singling out players. I've never been that guy to just say one player's the problem and that's it. We used to have the likes of David Bellion, Jemba, Kleberson, and we would score goals. So it's not just about who's up front, who's going to, it's not just about that. It's a one reason, and we all know, we've been talking about it for weeks. Man United need a new striker. That's fine. We do. But I told you guys, Ahmad is coming across as an impact player for me. Garnacho is an impact player. We have no players right now who could step up to the fore. Ahmad's diving around 2 games in a row now. Bruno, gone missing. Captain Marvel, 2 games in a row now. What about these players? You know what I mean? Why are we just mentioning one? And that's what I would say about that. Thank you, everyone, for joining me. Thank you, guys. Hope you're all doing well. Let me read through your comments. Rasmus has to go. Hello, Fanactive8. How you doing, my friend? Hope you're doing well. Good to see you. Worst striker I've seen for Man United. We have to calm down on just scapegoating one player. Good morning, Sal. I'm scared of Lindelof in the final. Ephraim, don't worry about that. Look, at the end of the day, people are talking about, but you know what happened with the 3-man defense? Ruben Amorim playing the 3-man defense. How did we still concede a goal there? And what I would say is this, right? We've been conceding goals on the back post since the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer days. This thing hasn't improved. And no coincidence that it is Lindelof. No coincidence that is Lindelof, that the one making a mistake. I mean, for me, that was a poor goal to concede. I said it when it happened. It's a poor goal to concede, and there was no marking on the player. Completely free header. Good header, but a free header. Sal, just heard something. I'm going to say that Rimo has the worst talent ID. He's not able to use worst 6 signings even. So why should we trust him? What does he mean we had the worst talent ID? Didn't he make Diamande? Didn't he make Quenda? Didn't he make Gutierrez? Didn't he make Ignacio? Didn't he make Højlund? Didn't he make these players? So I don't quite understand what these people are talking about, because at the end of the day, didn't he get rid of 25 players at Sporting? 25 players he got rid of at Sporting Lisbon. 25 players. Did he not get rid of that? And did he not replace them and build these players up? Guys, people need to forget. They forget things when they watch matches. They focus on one thing. They focus on the manager. That's it. And this is a simplistic, lack of IQ kind of football opinion. I like to look at things from a bird's eye view, not just one thing, And what these people do is that we can't do it. He will win the Europa League. If he wins the Europa League, people are going to say he's papering over the cracks. It's not acceptable still, blah, blah, blah. I'm shutting out the noise. I'm tired of it. You know what I mean? Because I'm seeing on the pitch yesterday a team that are 1-0 down, right? 1-0 down. Old Man United teams will go for gauntlet. They'll go gun-ho. They'll kick that ball forward, chance after chance after chance after chance. We look like we were the ones hanging on for the 1-0. That is what we looked like yesterday. And that is what concerned me. Ephraim, we have support. We have to support. I know we do not deserve it, but we have to support them for the most important match. And this is what it is, Ephraim. And you know what? Criticizing the team right now is counterproductive. We can talk about this game, which I'm doing right now. But one thing we can't do is carry it on all week. We need these players to be up for it. They should be up for it anyway. I have my ideas of what should happen in the final. I do think we should change it up a little bit. Erik ten Hag changed it up in the FA Cup final, maybe play a false 9, something like that. I'm thinking about that. I think Man United need to do something different because at the moment, I'm not seeing anything that is going to harm Tottenham. You know, and as I said, you know, if we go 1-0 down, who's going to come back? You know what I mean? This isn't Athletic Bilbao. This isn't European teams. This is Tottenham. You know what I mean? So this is basically a Premier League game. Morning, Sal. I didn't even watch the game yesterday. How did we play? Dreadful, Shah. We started off relatively well. We created a couple of chances. Unlucky to get a goal disallowed, Shah. But overall, very, very poor and lackluster in the second half, in particular. And Man United, many players went missing again, and just looked lethargic, look void of ideas, confused, lack of IQ, the whole lot. You know what I mean? And it is not really... Look, if we went into that game yesterday and we played well, hit the post, you know what I mean, and done very well, which we did for the opening 20 minutes, I felt, I would have been more confident, you know what I mean? But, you know, what I've seen today, there needs to be drastic improvements. If we're going to win the Europa League, there needs to be drastic improvements in that team. I know that Tottenham are crap as well, but we need to concentrate on ourselves, you know what I mean? And it was poor. Pearl, also, the current team is supposedly used to winning before Amram came along, and they are a top 6 quality. So it's Amram's fault that the team used to losing now. This team, right? This team, as I've always said, and it's not, and this resonates. This goes back a decade. Okay, this team. I don't know why I sound like a broken record, but this team, when they're going, this club at the moment, the mentality, the culture. When they're going, when they don't want to play, when there is a clutch, they will lean on a clutch. That's what this team does. This is what they're about. When they don't, when there's an excuse not to win, they generally don't win. So when there's nothing riding on the game significantly, nothing will ride on the game for them. They won't go for it, and that's the problem. Not only with Ruben Amram, this has been the problem with Erik ten Hag, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, Jose Mourinho, you name it. Yes, it's got drastic, but at least with Jim Ratcliffe in the crowd at Chelsea, and his homemate, some might say, with Jim Ratcliffe in the crowd, at least he can see it for himself, can't he? And the work that needs to be done in this football club. They need to start moving their backsides right now, because right now, Man United are slow. Liverpool have made a deal already. Arsenal have made a deal already, could make 2. You know, what is going on with us? We're falling behind. They're going forward. We need to start moving on and go quicker, guys. Plus 18 losses, I believe, 17. 100% we will never have a season like this. We need to better in the league before next season. It depends. That all depends on Ineos. If we go into next season with the same players, we all know what's going on. You know what I mean? Dylan, good morning, Sal. Overall, play was good, great before the changes. A striker that can hold our link, play and shoot will transform the team. I agree. We need about 5 or 6 real good players. Just frustrated, but it's all the ownership for me. I know you're frustrated, Rasta, but you know what? One thing we can't do is we can't single it out, because it's not a single out problem. Yes, Rasmus is not good enough. And I'm not coming on here and saying Rasmus was unlucky. Rasmus is not a Man United striker. I know that, you know. But I wanna see. You know one thing about it. When I used to play football, okay, I used to work under a really good coach. And you know what he said to me? You know, when a player would have a bad game, he wouldn't target that player. He will target another player in that team. Say, but you're the captain. You should be doing that, even if that player had a good game. Sir Alex Ferguson did the same. Sir Alex Ferguson would look at a player and target that player. He won't target the player who's had a bad game. He will look at that player and say, well, you should be doing this, you should be doing that, because it goes without saying. We know what's going on there. But what's stopping Ahmad? What's stopping Bruno? What's stopping Mason Mount from doing something in that game, from creating a... Because as far as I'm concerned, Mason Mount missed a number of chances. Ahmad kept cutting in, being selfish, diving. So why are these names not being mentioned as well? We know that Rasmus is not good enough. We know that. Doesn't take a rocket scientist, does it? At the end of the day, we know he's not good enough. But you know what? We need to obviously look at a bigger picture here. Ephraim, when I see Ineos in the stand, I was fuming. Yeah, typical London game, isn't it? He'd be there. Who would you start in the finals? Who would you start, Sal? I'm going to have to think about it. Sal, would you look to play false nine in the final? Ten Hag did it last year, FA Cup final. Yeah, I know. Yes, I would. Definitely. It depends who I'll play at the false number 9. Little bit concerned about Mainu. Mainu has not been good. And when he came on yesterday, was not good again. And what is going on with Kobe Mainu? Again, look, you know what? There's lots of problems at Man United. It's not just boiled down to one problem. There's lots of problems at Man United. And I actually feel sorry for Ruben Amorim. We want Lenny Yoro or Matas de Ligt. There is no player in defence who can progress the ball. We need them, mate. We need them, Ephraim. We need them back. I doubt that they will be back. Was pleased with Aiden Heaven came on. Getting some minutes. I doubt he's going to play. My biggest concern, as I said there, Ephraim, is that, you know what, we're going to be playing Lindelof. I wouldn't play Lindelof. I would play Maguire. I would play Shaw, and I would play Mazraoui in that centre-back position, and I play Ahmad as a wing-back. I wouldn't play Ahmad as a number 10. I don't think Ahmad did well yesterday. Again, I play him as a wing-back. And, I wouldn't play Lindelof. Lindelof lost his man again in that goal, the lead up to the goal, which won them the game. That game yesterday should have been 0-0. You know what I mean? We should have lost that game. Why do we always struggle to defend the back post happening for 5 or 6 years? Because it's a culture, Sharp. Now, look, let me tell you a story about culture in football, right? They always used to, like Tottenham are known as bottlers. Tottenham are the bottlers, culture, right? Real Madrid are winners, culture. Arsenal used to be a pretty team playing around the box. That's their culture. That's what they are. You know what I mean? Germany, tough to beat. Rigid, culture. It's like that. Spanish, tiki-taka, culture. Man United not defending the back post. Man United when giving up when they go 1-0 down. And that didn't used to be Man United's culture. But this is the Man United Premier League culture, because we know in the Europa League, guys, that Man United have a quite good mentality, because they go 4-2 down late on. They win 5-4. They beat Bilbao 4-1. So what's going on in the Premier League, guys? You know what I mean? What is going on in the Premier League is rubbish. But let me tell you this. That being said, Chelsea were rubbish. They spent 1 billion in 1 year, guys. Chelsea were rubbish. Højlund lacks creativity to guide the ball, passes the opposition just to the... If I was gonna criticize Højlund, and I know he's going to get a lot of criticism, but I'm going to try and be careful here, because it is the Europa League final on Wednesday. And I know that Rasmus Højlund watches social media, and I would like him to have a good game, just like I want every single person to have a game. But like I said, when the door slams shut in your face, build your own door. If the game is not going well for you, remember what you are. You are a striker, not a CDM. And Rasmus is playing like a CDM up front. He's a defensive striker. So basically coming deep, holding up the ball, blah, blah, blah. Very, very old school. He reminds me of a League One, League Two type striker. I don't think he's Manchester United quality, and I make no mistake that he's regressed. I think he was better in his first season, but he's definitely not a Ruben Amorim striker, and I don't think Ruben Amorim wants him as a striker. I really don't. And we're in a bit of a predicament at the moment, because we can't sell him because of the FFP and PSR. We need to sell him for at least 42 million. Who in their right mind is going to buy Rasmus Højlund for 42 million? You know what I mean? We're lucky to get 4.2 million at this point. You know what I mean? So at the end of the day, look, what I would say is that Rasmus Højlund, if he wants to be a great striker at Manchester United, he's got to show us that he's a great striker. He's got to get that ball out of his feet. He's got to bend one in the top corner. He's got to do something special, because I don't see anything special. I've seen great strikers at this football club, and none of those strikers just wait for the ball in the box or hold up the ball and lose the ball. You know, they make things happen for themselves. Yes, he's probably the worst striker we've had in 30 years. Most likely he is. You know what I mean? Looking at his goal ratio, the games he's played, definitely. You know what I mean? But you know what? One thing I don't do is I won't bully players, but I will tell them that, you know what, he's just not doing it anymore. And people know me, I backed him. You know, I back him because he's a young player. But, you know, when you start reaching on the age of 23, the age of 23, you should be at a level, right? You should be at a level that, you know what, is decent at 23. You should be there going like, right now, this is where we kick on. A bit like when Cristiano Ronaldo reached the age of 23. Where was Cristiano Ronaldo? What he was doing and stuff like that. It seems to me these players are not working hard enough. They're not working on their game, their technique, their shooting, nothing. And they're just regressing and taking a pay. And that is it. If the defense switched Solanke, will eat us alive. Yeah, we have to switch it. Bruno is a false niner as well. Hidden element. 39 points is in 37 is no excuse. Yeah, having poor players on the pitch and having a bad culture in a football club as well, and leaving it like that for many, many years is no excuse as well. As I said, Ruben Amorim's walking into a derelict building, right? And there is a lot to do at that football club. No manager would succeed. We need 10 players in, 10 players out. And that is what it is at the end of the day. It's not going to work, and we have to wait until next season. Us moaning 39 points, 37, it doesn't really matter. 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th. You know what I mean? I was raised on Man United. You don't need to tell me hidden element. You probably weren't born when I started supporting Man United. But one thing I would say is that we know we're 16th and 17th. You don't need to repeat that. We know we got 37, 39 points, whatever. At the end of the day, that is what it is. But one thing we don't do, what we got to look at things subjectively. We've got to look at things from a smart point of view, not a simplistic point of view, and understand that Luis Enrique, Nagelsmann, Hansi Flick will come into this team, might do slightly better, might do slightly worse. Who knows? This team is bad. You know, yesterday I saw a culture that has been getting worse and worse and worse, years and years and years. You know, and that culture is, we don't really need to win this game, so should we just down tool? A lot of those players are playing like, you know what, we got the Europa League final on Wednesday. That's how they're playing with. I mean, how you can be undefeated in Europa League, you know, in beating the 4th best team in Spain easily, 7-1 on aggregate. We don't even score 7 goals in 3 months these days. For all the accolades Maguire this season, he still concedes so much during EPL. I think Lindelof is a big problem, Sonny. I don't think Lindelof is very good. You know what I mean? I think Lindelof is a big problem. I worry about him starting in the final. Sal, what do you make of yesterday's lineup? Is it good to go strong team and do not help Spurs not starting the best team? I think what Ruben Amorim was trying to do yesterday is trying to work out a pattern, trying to see prepare for the game against Spurs. Now, after yesterday's game, we got 6 days to prepare, isn't it? 5 Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, 5 games to prepare. So basically, he used that game to see what kind of patterns he can do, what kind of team he can play against Spurs. Now, maybe it's a good thing he did that, because in my personal opinion, I don't think Bruno is a number 8. I don't. I wouldn't play Rasmus now. I just think that Rasmus is null and void, guys. I think he's done out here. I just don't, I can't see him. I think he needs to go on loan or something. What do you hidden is in it is on that our attack is crap, that the fact he's only got 1 signing in January and got yeah, exactly, Shah, and got no attackers to replace Rasmus and Anthony. People don't understand. They see football in a simplistic, and it's not their fault. They haven't watched much football, probably fans of like 10 years or something, but I've been watching football 40 years. Shouldn't it be me? Shouldn't it be me who's seen every single Alex Ferguson trophy? Shouldn't it be me who's crying out from the rooftop? You know, but I know what's going on at the football club. I look at it and I know that any manager could come into this football club. We may come 12th, 10th. This team is not good enough. It's as simple as that. We still got Lindelof, for goodness sake. You know what I mean? Like I was saying, you know, the culture at the football club is null and void. People need to look at the culture, not just look at things from the outset. Look at things. The problem is what people are doing. They're throwing managers out under the bus and blaming the bus, and that's what they're doing. Do you know what I mean? It's ridiculous. Sal, will we reach 40 points? Don't care, Beef Bully now. I'm finished with the league. The league is done. It's just a bad nightmare, to be honest, Beef. A nightmare in the league. But what I will not have, Beef Bully, is people saying that Man United being relegated will do well for Man United, because it absolutely won't. Because I will tell you right now, guys, as a guy of experience in football, right? Man United get relegated, Man United could go bankrupt right now, and we'll be desperate. Jim Ratcliffe and the Glazers, by the way, they are only interested in this regeneration project in Manchester. They don't care what happens on the pitch. So if Man United get relegated, I don't think they really care. I don't even think the Glazers know what division we're in. So I don't think that they care about us being relegated. But Man United being relegated will not help Manchester United as much as people say it is. Like, it is a very, very dangerous thing to say. If Man United get relegated, Man United can go out of business. Man United can end up, going down even further. It's not easy, the championship, at the end of the day. You know what I mean? Man City went down to League One. How much do you think Rasmus is worth without the book value? Can I be honest, Shah? Less than 10 million. What I'm seeing, I see League One strikers better than him. Hidden element. It's all well and good, hidden element. But what I would say about Martial is Martial has only missed 7 games this season, right? That tells you more about his mentality than anything else, doesn't it? Because at the end of the day, that means he was feigning injury, right? I mean, he's gone from not playing any games to only missing 7 games for in Greece. So that shows me mentality is dead. We don't want any more of that. Rasmus is not good enough. Martial's not good enough. None of those players are good enough. They can go like that. They can get lost, hidden. Honestly, to be honest with those players, they can get lost. None of them are good enough. None of them. And I'm not exempting anyone from this team. I'm not exempting Bruno. You know what I mean? Who was poor. Ahmad, 2nd game in a row, poor. These players need to pick it up and understand who they're playing for. You can't just keep blaming the manager and say it's the manager, because at the end of the day, you know what I mean? Another hipster manager, another great manager, undefeated in Europe, undefeated in Portugal for 20, was it like a year or something like that? And then now another manager comes to Man United and his career is being destroyed. It's a cultural problem, Man United. It resonates from the top and it goes all the way down. And you know what? What's going to be Fraud Watch? Who's going to be on Fraud Watch this summer? It is going to be Ineos. Shah, I'd be so excited to Gutierrez and Osman to shout at Ahmed, Garnacho and Bruno to pass the ball to him. Absolutely. And this is what I'm saying. How many times in the game, right? We play wing backs, right? I've seen Ruben Amorim teams. I've seen Sporting Lisbon. The wing backs are way up, right? Wingers. They're basically wingers. They're way up the pitch, right? Overlapping runs, between the 2 number 10s and the wing backs. I'm not seeing that. I'm not seeing Ahmad go on the outside. I'm seeing him more and more cutting. Anthony syndrome. Cutting like Rashford used to do the same. Cutting. It's predictable and very easy to defend. I was a defender, and whenever a defender would cut in, it would be easy for me. I love it. If a player was doing overlapping runs and cutting me in the wing, I would be like more worried. And that's what Man United needed to do. Man United have always been known for the wingers. Man United are historically wingers. You know what I mean? So Ryan Giggs, David Beckham, Lee Sharp, these players, wingers, proper wingers, guys. And because at the end of the day, when you're on the wing, you spread the play. You spread the play. The play gets spread, and more space is created into the box. Do you know what I mean? Shah, the only positive about yesterday was Sal, no injuries. Yeah, that's it. I agree. With Onana in goal, Spurs just have to shoot at every chance. We are conceding lots of pinball goals. I mean, it's just not good enough, is he? I mean, we got some bad players there, man. We have to understand that. Why can't people that want the manager sacked put the pressure on the owners and blame them? We could actually unite as a fan base, because they don't want to unite, because they don't worship Man. They don't support Man United. They support their opinions. They don't support anything else. This is why we will never improve. I mean, I spent tooth and nail trying to tell people, don't sack Ten Hag because things won't improve. Don't sack Ten Hag because things won't improve. Lo and behold, things haven't improved. And I've been saying that things won't improve, And the only reason that Ten Hag did slightly better is because that's his team. Now, if it gets to this time next season and, you know, there's no improvement, then you can start calling for Ruben Amorim's head. You know what I mean? Then you can start saying, well, you know what? He's not improved. That is on the basis that he is bad. Because for me, it's insanity that you bring a manager in with a distinctive style of play, right? Successful with that style of play, right? Factually successful, right? And then not bring him in many players, you know, off-field issues to his head, losing 3 players, none brought in. And you know what? It's just insanity. I think Ineos were cutting costs and staff expect United to get relegated. Honestly. Danesh Red warned Ineos that Amorim would not be able to manage the team without a new squad. He recommended the basic to absolutely Almac. And what did Ruben Amorim want to do? He wanted to come in the summer. He didn't want to come in during the season. He knew this. That's why he said we're going to suffer. He knows it's going to be a problem. Now, we've got a summer here to retrieve this. We got a chance to make this better. Right? Hopefully, fingers crossed, I pray we win the Europa League. I pray, Matt, we win the Europa League. And then we can get into, then we can just put everything to one side and say, right, now, let's not get disillusioned. Let's not get, you're delusional about the Europa League. Now, let's see what we need to do with this team. This team is not good enough. What we're going to do? Are we going to do this? Are we going to do that? That's what Man United need to do. They need to make sure that they've replaced this team. Majority of it, 75%. Why do not play extra passes? Everybody wants to hit. Yeah, Ephraim, this is the thing. Everyone is to blame. Mount, Ahmad, Rasmus, Bruno. You know, they're all to blame here. Nobody's stopping these guys from creating, you know, or doing something. You know what I mean? I'm seeing too much cut in and shoot. I'm seeing too much cut in and dive. I'm seeing too much of that. I'm seeing too much of Mason Mount doing nothing. Impact players. You know what I mean? That's what I said. Impact players. Can't believe if we have a bot one back free to Premier League, or this has never happened. Hey, you know what I would say, Beef Bully? I supported this club since 1980s. And I keep saying, you know, but I'm remaining calm because I know that it's got hopefully, possibly to the lowest it could possibly go. Right? We're at the lowest, guys. So the only way is up, isn't it? Baby. You and me now. I remember the song. The only way is up now. You know what I mean? We can't get any lower than where we are. So the only way is up. And let's see what happens. Dorgu crossing needs to be studied. Dylan, do you know what I would say? And I would say this to any young player coming up. Football, all right? What I would do if I was a young winger, right? A young left back or whatever, which I was a right back, right? I used to play midfield as well sometimes and centre back. So what I would say is that if I was in training, I'll be doing drills. You know, I'll be doing drill. And those drills will be pass, cross first time. Pass, cross first time. That's what I'll be doing. Practicing overlapping and runs. Cutting in like Patrice Ever used to do. You know, that's what I'll be doing. Cutting it back. That's what I'll be doing. Practice. These guys get the ball, right? And it's like we're too concentrated on athletes, right? And not actually footballers. You know, they get the ball, they pass it back. They get the ball, they pass it back. It's like they're scared to run, like they're scared to run into the advertising boarding or something like that. I don't know, man. Football's a simple game. Qatar needs to buy United right now. I hope so. Hidden element. People know me. People who follow me a long time know that the work I did in regards to that. And unfortunately, for sinister reasons, people wanted Ineos at Manchester United. It was sinister reasons, and you can't sugarcoat that for me because we know what it was at the end of the day. The bright thing for Jim Ratcliffe to do is sell the club. But we all know, right, that Jim Ratcliffe is not interested in what happens on the pitch. He really isn't. The Glazers probably don't even know what division we are in, right? What Jim Ratcliffe wants is that regeneration project for Ineos. Glazers want that as well. That's why the Glazers sent that letter out to the Manchester Council in 2018. They want that regeneration project. That's what they're after. It's worth billions for them. So, you know, this is what it is, unfortunately. This is why I don't think they'll sell. The only thing that will help them sell is if the Manchester Council reject their proposition. reject their plans. Then they're in a bit of a mess. They can generate manager Ineos want with all the with or without Champions money. Yep. I feel bad for Dorgu being thrown in the mid-season 20 no experience left winger to rotate and learn under him. He's the scapegoat. Nobody is the scapegoat here, Shah. But what we have to understand is this, right? Football is a simple game. When these players, they're 20, right? And we're not going to dig into them too much. Just like Rasmus, they're 20, right? And we've mentioned a lot of players on this channel. We ain't just mentioned one player. We've mentioned Bruno. We've mentioned Mount. We mentioned, Rasmus. We've mentioned Ahmad so far, right? When you're a young player, you pick up that football at 8 years old, right? You pick up that football at 8 years old, right? You look at football. You watch football. You watch wing backs. You watch great wing backs. You don't know how to run and cross. I was raised in an era where I knew players used to cross. Dennis Irwin, Gary Neville, these players, right? Patrice Evra, who knew how to cut in, who knew how to cross, right? This player is playing for Manchester United. You know how many teams there is in the world that he could have signed for? Yet he signed for the top 1% of teams. That's what he's done. Now, he has to be at the top 1% of players. He needs time. He's thrown in the deep end. But at the same time, we're not a charity, right? And we need to see more. But hopefully, it will come good next year. But he's not our worst player. There's lots of players there that are not going forward, not attacking. And as I said, I've mentioned 5 or 6 players already. Beef Bully. Now, Ragnar is right about opening our 10 man is not going to... It's not only about the players, because we've changed 10 men since then, Beef Bully. What Ralph Ragnick was talking about is the club. He's talking about the whole club. The whole club needs open heart surgery. He weren't just talking about on the pitch. This is where people think he was talking about on the pitch. I've seen interviews on Germany, right, where he said, I was talking about the football club. I'm talking about upstairs, middle, everything about the football club. He is young. We have to be patient on Dorgu. He has all the elements to be a good player. Yeah, but he has to improve, mate. At 20 years old, I've seen Carfu and Roberto Carlos. We got to do more, mate. Our players love to shoot for 35 because it does that, absolutely. So Jim and Glazers will sell the club if the regenerate doesn't happen and we have to win the Europa League. I'd love that to happen. I hope it does happen. I really hope. Guitar in, absolutely. Would you, Yoro and Delit, come back for the final if you would take the risk? No. Yesterday was the game to get the match fitness. You'll be throwing the game away. Match fitness is a very big thing in football. You know what I mean? Sal, if it makes Glazers go, you want to lose the final? It's not going to make the Glazers go, Ephraim. It's just going to affect Man United in a bad way. No. That view, and let me tell you something, that view is not, just throw it out the window. Relegation, losing the final, throw it out the window. Glazers are interested in the regeneration project. They stand to make 10 billion, guys. They're not interested in that sort of thing. Yeah, it's nice, a little bit of extra money for them. But all they're going to do is just cut back on transfers. That's all they're going to do. What people don't understand is this, right? If Manchester United get relegated, we will still sell out the crowd to 76,000 people every week. They will just cut back on signings. They will sell players, right? They will sell our best players and bring in youth players. That's what they'll do to compensate for the relegation or, for example, losing the Europa League final. That's what they'll do. They'll have their plan. They'll still make it work for them. It'll still be in their narrative. It'll still be in their best interest. This is what people don't understand. You know what I mean? They think, let's get relegated. The Glazers will leave. Let's lose the Europa League final. The Glazers will leave. The Glazers won't leave by that. The only way the Glazers are going to leave, you know what I mean, is by them not getting a regeneration project, us attacking their sponsors. That's what we need to do. Attack their sponsors. Relegation and all that is just a simplistic, low IQ football opinion that I saw last night on a few people talking about that. It's just not going to happen, mate. They're not going to leave like that. Chester United, yeah. Guys, let me tell you what happened if Man United get relegated, right? Let's say this scenario, right? Bruno will be out the door. Casemiro will be out the door. De Ligt will be out the door. Mazraoui will be out the door. All these players will be out the door, guys, and they'll get more money. And then they'll say, right, you've got a youth team. Here's the youth team. Get on with it and get promoted. That's what they'll do. The one thing that is going to hurt Ineos and hurt the Glazers is the regeneration project attacking their sponsors. I say it again. I've done this for a long time, guys. I was there in my green and gold scarf in 2005 at Old Trafford. I've done this for a long time. We either attack their sponsors, hit them where it hurts. That does. Relegation, I told you, Glazers don't even know what division we're in. They don't really care. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, we'll still sell jerseys. We'll still sell Old Trafford out. All they'll say is that we missed the Premier League money by that much. So what we got to do, we got to sell this player, sell that player, and bring in youth team. That's what they'll do. If the owners were serious, they bring in Rodrigo in the prime from Real Madrid rather than Casemiro and Varane in their twilight. Gladiator, we do need some experience, definitely. But you know what type of experience we need, Gladiator? We need experience of 25, 26. That type of experience, you know what I mean? Absolutely. If the players are the next season, it can affect the coming players. Yeah. Guys, this is what I'm talking about. There is work to be done. There is work to be done at this football club. We need to get to work now. Why are we not doing it now? Why are we not making signings now? Why are we not selling players now? What's going on? All right, guys, in regards to the player ratings, let's get into the player ratings, guys. I know it's pointless. It's pointless. It is pointless, but let's get into this. Okay. So basically, this is the these are the player ratings from last night, guys. 5.5 for Manana. Really didn't do much, but shaky again. Lindelof, poor game, unmarked. Left the Chelsea player unmarked for the header. 5.5. Maguire, bit better. Scored a goal. Should have been allowed, in my opinion, but 6.5 for me. In regards to Luke Shaw, average 6. Mazraoui gets a 6.7. Thought he's one of our better players, but nothing to write home about. Nothing spectacular. Casemiro 6.1. Really didn't see him in the game, to be honest. Bruno Fernandes again poor, 5.7. Again from our captain. Dorgu 5.6 was poor yesterday, but will improve hopefully. We say Ahmad gets a 5.8. 2 games in a row now, guys. He's been poor. Mount 5.4, poor. And Rasmus Højlund 4.7, extremely poor. Guys, so sound like a broken record. I didn't really want to say this. I didn't want to go through it like this, but this is what the reality is. Garnacho gets a 6 on average when he came on. Garte gets an average 6.1. Mainu an average 6. Heaven an average 6.3. I thought Aiden Heaven was the one positive for me coming on. He really was. Away from Manchester United, Garnacho has been called up to the Argentinian national team. Well, congratulations to Garnacho. I just hope he can replicate his form into Manchester United, of course. Now, a few quotes coming in from Ruben Amram. Sometimes you want to press and to score a goal, but we lost a little bit of concentration. It was different, but you never like it when you lose the game. We were competitive. That was clear. Not in the second half, Ruben. I disagree. I felt Man United, when they went 1-0 down, looked like they were the team 1-0 up and trying to hold on to the lead. I thought that was a little bit concerning. I think we started great. Yeah, I agree. But in the final third, we need to be a bit more aggressive. We were there. We faced the game in the right way. It was a bit bad. Like we need to really change our whole front line. I'm really being honest, guys. The whole front line needs to change. If I'm being real, I'll be real, guys. Of course, we are excited to be in the final since day one. The pressure has been there, but I live quite well with the pressure. When you have the final of any cup, we show up, so we are prepared for that. Let's hope we do. For his sake as well. We have to prepare for each competition with 5 days. We can rest. We can have 5 days to prepare for the Europa League final, 2 days to fully recover, and then 2 days to prepare. In the end, I look at all the players and I think they are okay. They better be. That's all I say. They got to move it. He fights for every ball, loses a lot of duels, wins some duels. He needs to improve the connection. He's improving. I'm really happy with him. He just needs to continue to work hard. What I said, guys, about Ruben Amorim, don't be surprised. Ruben Amorim is the smiling assassin, as I said, the smiling assassin. So if you read between the lines in regards to this comment here, you would know that Ruben Amorim's not happy with Rasmus Højlund. Absolutely not. He's definitely not happy with Rasmus Højlund. Rasmus Højlund needs significant improvement, and I don't think he's at that age now, guys. Rasmus Højlund is at that age where I don't think he can improve much. Let's see where we were. Let's see where we were. Rodrigo is 24. Yo, reported unhappy at Madrid. That's a good age, Gladiator. That's a good age. That's the sort of age we need to be looking at. We need to be looking at players around that kind of age. Do you know what I mean? Kenny, good morning, Kenny. The majority of the fan base ain't ready for the rebuild. They are too fixated with results at the moment, but Amorim next season needs to show some baseline improvement. Yeah. Only, Kenny, if he's backed. If he's not backed and we're here with the same squad next season, what can we do? You know what I mean? I mean, there's not going to be much improvement. What I would say is that the whole attack right there, and I said it yesterday, Ahmad is an impact player. Garnacho's an impact player. We got too many impact players. Mason Mount is an impact player. We got too many of these. We need to completely revamp our attack, and make sure we bring in more technical ballers in that area. You know what I mean? Bit like Berbatov, a Cantona, Rooney kind of thing. Do you know what I mean? That kind of player. We don't have nothing like that. Jenna, we need serious reinforcements in every position. I agree. Jaylani, big up. Hope you're doing well. Why does Luke Shaw always get subbed off every game at risk injury? The guy has been fit for 1.5 months. He's not fit enough, mate. He's not fit. He doesn't look fit. He isn't fit. So do you think we'd improve with Cunha as one of the 10s out of good carriers up front? Of course, yeah. We would. Technical players, we would. Not to say he's going to take Man United to the levels that we want to be, but we'll be a lot better. Yeah. And Gutierrez would be incredible. In terms of attacking wise, we improve. Yeah. Our attack is null and void. So do you have any chance of signing Gutierrez if we win the Europa League? There is a chance. Yeah, there is a chance. But Man United have to win the Europa League. If Man United don't win the Europa League, Gutierrez is definitely going to Arsenal. It's already looking close that he might go to Arsenal at the moment. But if Man United win the Europa League, then you know what I mean? Guys, I've made a lot of excuses for a lot of players over the years, you know what I mean? And but when it comes to my I don't criticize players, you know what I mean? Like, especially young players, out of things. But what I would do, right, in my opinion, seen a lot of football. I've seen a lot of left backs, right backs, attackers, strikers. And I see characteristics in players, right? I see a lot of characteristics in players. And what I would say is that you learn from other players. If you're a young left back, get forward, get that crossing. If you're a young right back, do the same. If you're a striker, look at other players, how they get themselves into the game, how they score goals. If people have ever seen Francesco Totti play and Alessandro Del Piero play and these type of players playing, look what they do. Look at the movement, how they make goals for themselves. They don't just wait in the box and just think, I want the ball. Give me the ball so I can score. These players don't do... The players in the past, when I was raised, don't do that. This is why the talent pool is so low in regards to strikers. Do you know what I mean? Because they've just not got the IQ. They think you just run around, hold up the ball, pass the ball back, pass the ball sideways, and that's what they do. Great players make chances for themselves. Cut in, shoot from 30 yards, top corner, blah, blah, blah. Get into a position, do a little bit of a skill, make it happen for yourself. Look at Alessandro Del Piero, as I said. Look at Roberto Baggio, as I said. Look at these players who, over the years, Berbatov, Ruud van Nistelrooy. Ruud van Nistelrooy once run from the middle of the pitch and buried it in the corner against Fulham. Those type of things. Make things happen for yourself. That's how it should be. What ages would you go Gutierrez? Apparently, Arsenal are giving him 7 million a year. That's a lot. We need him, though. Our attack is the worst in the league. Our bar relegated ones, we can only go up with sufficient signings. I mean, yeah. I mean, anyone's going to be better. I mean, at the end of the day, but what we got to look at is like, what level do we need to get? Man United, if this was Real Madrid or Barcelona, Man United would clear out shop. They would get rid of most of those players. 75%, 80% of those players would be gone. But unfortunately, we know that they're not going to do that with Jim Ratcliffe, with this Man United. Jim Ratcliffe's not going to do that. They ain't even moving now. If Man United need to make deals, they should, soon as that Europa League final whistle blows, guys, as soon as that Europa League final whistle blows, win or lose, they need to be on it in the transfer market. Absolutely. We're so lucky not to get relegated. Say if there was actually relegated, there is a number of seasons that we would have been relegated. Yeah, we're just lucky that the teams are so bad this year. There are a number of years that we would have get relegated. Definitely. But we're not. So don't worry about it. We're not going to get relegated. But one thing's for certain, we need to treat this as a very, very serious slap in the face, a wake up call. You know what I mean? I expect Cunha, here we go, Thursday. I said that, yeah. I've said that. Shah, you repeat what I said every day from the previous 24 hours. The reason they're going to do this is that basically they're going to do it to raise spirits. If Man United lose, don't be surprised if Man United strike the deal with Cunha. Cunha will be done. That is what it is at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And that's what they're going to do. This is the spin. You know, they should have got the Cunha deal over the line already. But they might even... To be honest, Monday, it might even be done to get the spirits up. You never know. Who you like as a striker? Ibrahimovic, Ederson, Cavani. Never liked. I'll be honest, guys. They're both fantastic strikers. Ibrahimovic is a bit better, in my opinion. But let me tell you something, right? When I was being raised supporting Man United in the 90s, when Ibrahimovic was coming through, playing for Ajax, playing for Juventus, Cavani playing for Napoli, and playing teams like that, I never rated them. I thought we were better. Every time we played against Ibrahimovic, he never gave us a problem. You know, and it was just a fact. It was just it, you know what I mean? And I thought he's overrated. But since we've got worse and worse and worse, and what it shows you in football these days, the biggest thing, the glaringly obvious thing is that it shows you how far football has regressed. Football's regressed so much over the years. You know, when I was growing up, there were strikers everywhere. Every team had a great striker. You know, England alone had Robbie Fowler, Stan Collymore, Andy Cole, who couldn't even get in the England team. You know what I mean? That alone, Matt Letizia, couldn't get in the England team. These players are world-class players. They couldn't get in the England team. You know what I mean? This is what I'm talking about. You know, and nowadays, like it's like, who's a good striker in Europe? And we have to look everywhere for a good striker. Football's got boring. I blame a lot of things, you know what I mean? Nowadays, it's the generation of these days, which is computer FIFA-based generation, that they much rather sit on their PlayStations and stuff like that and play games rather than going to the park and playing football, which we used to do every day. Even me. I honestly think, guys, when I was 19, I could play for Man United right now. I'm not exaggerating. And I'm not being arrogant. I think when I was 19, I could play for Man United because I was always on the field. I was always playing football. These days, I would know, Rasmus, like I would know which runs to make, when to shoot, how to cut in, confuse the defender. You know what I mean? When to shoot. You know what I mean? That's what I would already know that. You know what I mean? But these players are like, you know what, raised differently these days. They're just raised differently. You know what I mean? They're just not on that level, that natural ability level. Guys, the natural ability level. I'm telling you right now, back in the 90s, right, any team in that top half of the Premier League will win the league now. Any team. Newcastle, Blackburn, you know, they would win the league. Arsenal, Liverpool, any one of those teams will dominate the league this year. I feel we could be 6 or 7 years away from top four at this rate with the Ineos. It depends, isn't it? Now trying to reach it. That's the problem, isn't it, Jalali? That's the problem, isn't it? How the speed of them is the problem for me. It's the speed of them. It's how slow they're acting. Liverpool have already signed Frimpong almost. Gutierrez and Zubamendi are in talks with Arsenal. Now, what are we doing? Twiddling our thumbs, waiting for Cunha. In advanced talks. The generation now about more CDM than strikers and wingers. Pep Massey destroyed football. games, mentality, effort. We used to love football. I used to go in the park and play football every single day. These days, this generation don't do that. They don't do that. They don't go in the park and play football and stuff like that. Manchester United is an easy fix. You need to stop buying players for changing managers and go through some struggles with some managers 4 or 5 years. LB123, very intelligent comment, my friend. Thank you for joining the stream. I agree. Very, very true. Patience. You need to sell more players than you need to buy. LB, cultural change, isn't it? It's a cultural change at the football club. From the top, we need to change it. On the pitch, we need to change it and get rid of a lot of players, of course, guys. Bigger LB123. Hope you're doing well. Thank you so much. Ephraim, if Spurs win it out, their best players, it will be embarrassing. Don't forget, we've got injuries as well, Ephraim. Xerxes, Leacher, 2 of our best players this season. You know, Xerxes, let's be honest, been one of our better players this season. De Ligt, one of our better players this season. De Ligt has more man of the matches than anyone in our team. You know, Leacher out. You know, Euro out. Best players. So injuries happen to everyone. Injuries happen to everyone. We've got injuries too. You know what I mean? So there you go. It feels like Ten Hag should be knighted for the plays. I mean, one thing I would say, Gladiator King, Ten Hag had his team, bruv. Ten Hag had his team. That was his team. Give Ruben Amorim his team. He'd do much, much, much better. You know what I mean? Ten Hag spent 600 million. You know, Ruben Amorim hasn't spent £6, €6. He hasn't, you know what I mean? At the end of the day, you know, we need to give him his team before we judge. You know what I mean? No, Eric Ten Hag, it's Eric Ten Hag. Goodness me. You guys. You know what I mean? And this is his team. He worked with his team. De Ligt is his player. Xerxes is his player. You know, all these players his players. Mason Mount is his player. You know what I mean? And there you go. You got to wait. If Ruben Amorim had his team now, we will be way up the league. You know what I mean? And people be talking about that. Ruben Amorim reaching a Europa League final with this team, right, deserves a medal. If he wins that Europa League final, he deserves a statue. What's going on right now? You know what I mean? Let's not forget he's lost 3 players, Anthony, Rashford, and Malacia as well. You know what I mean? And people forget that. Weaker squad. Got a weaker squad. Do you know what I mean? And you know what? I would just say that if Ruben Amorim wins the Europa League, I would love it, man. I would love it. But it's going to be very difficult. But don't be surprised, guys. Don't be surprised if Man United turn up against Tottenham. Don't be surprised if they turn up against Tottenham. They might do. You know what I mean? This is what they're about. If we had the same energy for the Glazers to do the managers, they would be gone. Yeah, because people, they don't believe, do they? They don't believe in it. They don't believe. They don't have the back. We're not into Milan. You know, we ain't got that ruthlessness. We ain't got, you know what I mean? The aggressiveness to do it. We're not aggressive enough. I told you we're too nice. You know what I mean? We're not scary enough. Euro De Ligt, what's the lowdown on them? Do you know, Sal? Not match fit beef bully. I would be very, very surprised if any one of those players start the final. It all boiled down to who plays in this game. The most ready player is Aiden Heaven. Other than that, after Aiden Heaven, Euro is further forward. De Ligt hasn't played for weeks. Euro's only played last week. So Lenny Euro will be more ready than De Ligt. The only change I can see, if it's going to be a possibility, is Lenny Euro. But Lenny Euro will be about 50%, 40% going to play against Tottenham. I don't want Lindelof to play. I really don't. I'm a bit worried about that. Luckily, Tottenham have got a lot of attacking injuries there. So we might be all right in an attacking sense. But, you know, it fills me with dread. It really does in regards to the defense that we can pull out. If we finish 8th or 7th next season, Sal, there'd be some people wanting the manager out. Yeah. But as I said, it all boils down to how the summer goes, which transfers come in. If he's got the same team and comes 8th, then you say, well, if he's got a different team and he's got his own team and comes 8th, then you say, well, it's got to be better. You know what I mean? He needs to be backed. I think the biggest down for Tenor was trying to regenerate Rashford, in my opinion, that 41 goal assist. I mean, we should have sold Rashford. And Rashford threw him under the bus. Rashford threw Eric Ten Hag under the bus. You know what I mean? And as did a lot of those players. These players are just, you know what, just, they do it. They'll lose 4-0 to Crystal Palace, but outplay Man City in an FA Cup final. That's what they do. You know what I mean? This is how they do. And they haven't changed this season. This mentality, this culture, as I keep saying, culture. It hasn't changed from last season. Lose to Crystal Palace 4-0, beat Man City in the league, in the FA Cup final, in a massive game. You know what I mean? Lose to Bournemouth 3-0 at home, beat Liverpool 4-3 at Old Trafford. That is how Man United, that's last season. Nothing has changed this season. Do you know what I mean? Nothing has changed. Kenny, Kenny, he probably got told the Glazers to get rid best out of him. I'm tired of Rashford, you know. Tired of him. Rashford in form 3 months for that contract extension. And people say that Rashford has done better at Aston Villa. How many goals has he scored? Man's touching Rasmus levels, mate. His numbers ain't really great. You know what I mean? At the end of the day, people acted like he scored 20 goals and loaned to Aston Villa. It's unbelievable. Do you know what I mean? He's just not good enough. And a lot of those players are not good enough. I just get rid of them, a lot of them. I'll try and get... I mean, Rasmus is not going to go for our FFP compliance number, which is about 42 million. We need to sell Rasmus. Now, guys, you'd be absolute nutter if you purchased Rasmus for 42 million. So what can we do with Rasmus? Try and get his wage off the books, get him on loan somewhere, maybe to Italy, maybe to Germany, maybe to France, and see what he can do. Maybe he might pick up, maybe he might improve. You know, but then we have to sign 2 strikers because we can't rely on 1 striker. You know what I mean? We're in a mess. I wish Rashford hit the level we did 3 months at Villa, attract more interest plus. Yeah, but, you know, it was an average. In Amram Richards, big up Amir. The positivity is here. Big up Amir. Hope you're doing well. Good to see you, mate. Hope everything is cool with you. Guys, absolutely. Yeah, so, look, you know what? What we have to do, guys, ultimately, what we have to do is put this game to bed. Let's put it to bed now. It is all about the Europa League now. Let's put it to bed and concentrate and focus on the final. That is it. We can't change this now. It's done. You know, poor performance. Yeah. And, yeah, we lose the Europa League final. We know what a toxic mess it's going to be all summer. We know the noises that are going to be coming out of Old Trafford. We know the fan base, the certain sections of the fan base, what they're going to say, what they're going to do. We know what they're going to do. We know they're predictable. You know what I mean? At the end of the day. It's going to be a toxic summer. But one thing's for certain, if we win the Europa League, you know, we could put everything to one side and say, right, we're in the Champions League. We've got these players. Who needs to go? What do we need to do to improve? That is what we need to do. Absolutely. I hope Villa get Europa Champions League football. We might stop them from getting you. Don't be surprised if Man United stop Aston Villa getting Champions League football and we allow Man City into the Champions League. We mustn't do that. Remember, Rashford did not thank him. Did not. And he did not thank him. Yeah. And Casemiro. 2 players. Absolutely. After everything Eric Ten Hag did for Marcus Rashford. You know what I mean? It's just like Sancho, isn't it? The spoiled little brat. That's what he is at the end of the day, you know? All focus on the final, bring on Wednesday. Absolutely, sure. That's what it's all about, and that's why we're here. We all need to concentrate on the final now. You know what? It was a disappointing night last night, but the final is what matters. You know, if we win the final, we won't remember. We won't remember. We win the final, and then we can look forward to our last game of the season against Aston Villa, and then go into Malaysia. We're playing Hong Kong, ain't we? Absolutely. So yeah, we can just look forward to that. Who do you think will start, Garnacho or Mason Mount? It's like saying, what do you want to keep, your arm or your leg? Garnacho for me. For me, absolutely. Ten Hag loved Rashford and Rashford didn't like Ten Hag possibly. Rashford doesn't like anyone. Rashford's an arrogant person. Rashford got sent home by Ruben Amorim with stomach cramps because he was partying all night. You know what I mean? Rashford just needs to duck out of Man United. People at Tuesday, David Villa home, we know if we're in the Champions League. Absolutely. There'll be positivity around that game. But the biggest thing is that do we beat Aston Villa and allow Man City into the Champions League? Or do we... it's tough, but we have to concentrate on ourselves. Let's just think about winning the Europa League. That we have to concentrate on ourselves and hopefully we win the Europa League, guys. That's all I care about. Absolutely. Guys, I really want to say thank you, guys, for... watching the stream. Please don't forget to smash a like, guys, please. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel if you are new, guys. Absolutely. Oh, yes, we got Villa on the last day. Yep. Beef Bully. Yeah, Rashi can't play. Absolutely. Any solid leaks on our kit next season? Yeah, there's a couple of leaks. I'm not too sure about the kits these days. The kit for next season seems a bit too basic for me, but that's just me. I thought the kits were a little bit better when I was growing up, but that's just me. I did like a couple of the kits this season with the old Adidas Originals. I think they should keep that. Looks like they're going to dump it, but you know what? I like the old Adidas Originals. I think it's much better. Guys, thank you so much for joining me. You're absolute legends. Please don't forget to subscribe and smash the like, guys. Keep your notifications on in case I'm on later on today, hopefully. So just keep your notifications on if I go live. Have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are in the world. And remember, it's all about focused on Wednesday now. And just hope, fingers crossed, you know what, this time next week, we'll be in a much better mood, guys. Take it easy, guys. Have a great day. Peace.